those ghosts have to have the energy that they need. And right now, NonY moving in, he's just gonna go and bulldoze his way through these double missile turrets, and he killed off several SCVs there. It was like almost a no-brainer. I don't think NonY really lost that many Phoenixes, if any at all. So NonY here in a good position. I'm surprised that he's been able to use these Phoenixes somewhat effectively, even against these missile turrets.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that he just flew in there. He's just saying, screw it, man. I can kill enough SCVs quickly enough to make it worth it. I do like how he is taking this watchtower in the center, so he knows where to keep his army as well as his Phoenixes. Although the only downside is that his expansion not fully saturated. He did get it a lot later than the little one. And if you look at the income tab, the little one is flying in the income because he has so many workers. They do have the same amount. And whoa, there we go. He salvaged all those bunkers. That kind of scared me. I thought he was like nuking himself or something, but he did get all those minerals back from those bunkers and gonna start using it for Marines and Marauders.
We are having a lot of Raxes being added on for the little one here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Raxes. +1 weapons and armor are being finished right now for the little one. So he's got a very, very scary infantry force right here on the tech lab. The upgrades have been done minus concussive shells, but he doesn't have any Marauders at all. This is a pure Marine army with Ghosts. I think this is going to be pretty darn devastating, especially since NonY is so heavy on the Phoenix. Unfortunately, I don't think Phoenix are going to be that good, and maybe if he lifts off the Ghost, he can redeem himself, but he's going to have to be very careful to not get EMP'd. Here we go. Some of the Graviton beams being used, but the Marines are just so strong. They pop that Phoenix almost instantaneously. This is going to be a really close battle, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all going to come down to if those Zealots can get on top of the Marines. So here we go. Marines, not the best. Oh, but they're going to get blocked there. But the EMP is going down. The little one trying to split up his units as best he can, focusing down these sentries. Keep in mind that Marines are dirt cheap, while the sentries are very heavy in gas. But look at all these Marines getting lifted up over here. Poor little Marines getting shot down by those Phoenix. And I think that this attack is going to end. I'm just curious. The units lost here is actually fairly even because Marines are so cheap. But I think the little one was trying to do a timing attack there. His shield upgrade just now finishing, and he was basically trying to do a heavy Marine attack there to punish NonY for getting so many Phoenixes. But NonY held his own very well, getting his own third right now on the right side. He actually broke through those rocks, so he can transition between those two expansions very, very easily with his army. And so I would say that NonY is in a good spot, but the little one has a bunch of Marauders. But the problem is that he didn't kill enough Phoenix, I think, because the Phoenixes are very good against the Marauders because, hey man, Marauders cannot shoot air.
Yeah, now this is when the little one transitioning into Marauders. The Phoenixes are a pretty good counter to those Marauders because, like you said, they can't shoot the air down. And I think the little one now is on the back foot. NonY making his way back into this game. I think he might be able to go 1-2 if he can really crush the little one, if he can get this expansion saturated, the third expo that is, and keep the little one contained, because right now the little one, he has a lot of Raxes, man. He can build a menacing force in almost no time at all, and right now the little one is getting Vikings out of a reactor starport, so he has almost 4 right now, and of course those Vikings going to be absolutely critical to get rid of these Colossus, so that the Colossus don't vaporize the Marauders and Marines.
I think that what's really going to hurt the little one right now is the fact that he moved out so early with all of those Marines. I mean, he has like 2 Marines right now in this army, and the Marauders, if they were mixed in with those Marines, it could have been a very devastating push because we saw how one-sided the Zealot versus Marine battle was. They just got completely owned there. So if he would have waited maybe 45, maybe a minute, he could have, you know, moved out with this big ball, but he decided to move out with the Marines, and we'll see what he can make happen with these Marauders as he is getting Vikings, which he absolutely needs the Vikings right now because he has no Marines.
Right now, Phoenixes and Vikings engaging. I think NonY was thinking about pushing in on the left side of the map to do some economic damage, but he was forced away by the Vikings. So the little one there saving a little bit of a grace right there and not allowing those Phoenixes to get in. And I think at this point and stage in the game, it's in NonY's best interest to stop the Phoenix production. But no, he's going to make more Phoenixes, so he's really committed to these Phoenixes. I really feel like the resources could be used for a better ground army, but we'll see what happens when they do engage. If NonY can come up with a little bit better micro and not get killed by the Vikings. In fact, the Phoenixes might even serve as a slight distraction from the Vikings to target the Colossus. So we'll see what happens. Right now, a very massive Marauder army at 1-1 on top with Phoenixes flying overhead as well. And right now, the little one finally thinking about grabbing a third expansion.
Yeah, the third expansion here for the Little One gonna be definitely delayed. I mean, the army sizes are fairly similar here. It's just that if we look at the income tab, NonY is just rolling in extra money right now, so his army is gonna get maxed out much quicker. He does have the 70 workers to the 49 of the Little One, and like you said, those Phoenix I think are gonna be very good against the Vikings, because Vikings will win in a straight-up battle, but what's important is the Colossus surviving long enough to melt away these Marines and Marauders, although it's mostly just Marauders. That is a lot of Marauders.
That is a lot of Marauders. Taking a look at the Army tab right now, we actually have both players fairly even, 150 and 150 each. But the thing is that the Little One can really reinforce with all these racks so easily. And when a Terran, they can do that off 2 base, but if a Terran gets 3 bases, my goodness, they can just pump units like no other. But at the same time, NonY has 4 bases almost nearly up and running operational, 1 going at the bottom right-hand corner. NonY just has so much more income, almost double the mineral intake, and right now a massive battle about to happen right in front of NonY's main base.
This is so many Phoenixes. I can't believe he's actually pumping these off 2 Stargates, so they are going to be engaging each other. It does look like the Little One forced to back out there, trying to get a flank on top of this army. Is it going to be enough? NonY trying to get to the high ground. He may have realized, oops, I made way too many Phoenix there, although now that they are on the high ground, they can just melt away these Marines and Marauders. This is when it comes down to the micro, and the Little One just didn't have what it took that time. Definitely going to be the loser in that big battle.
Wow, NonY here coming out just ahead so convincingly. He really used this Colossus and their ability to use that movement on the high ground to abuse the fact that the Marauders had no way to shoot the Colossus. That entire infantry force getting taken out. Meanwhile, the entire time, the Phoenixes were focusing down the Vikings, so the Vikings never had a chance to focus down the Colossus. That's what was so critically different from this game and game number 1. So NonY there making great use of the Phoenix to deal with the anti-air from the Little One, and right now it's looking pretty bad for TLO. Look at his upgrades though, he does have 2-2, and like I said before, he's able to produce those units so easily. Look, he might have lost the battle, but he's catching up in the army count very quickly. 113, 117, and he's just about to match up with NonY pretty quickly right now.
Yeah, NonY though throwing down 5 gateways of his own, and he's producing from 2 robotics as well as 2 Stargates, and so this is going to get very scary here for the Little One very, very quickly. So I think there's going to be one more window where the Little One actually stands a chance, but if he lets these units get out of control too much, he's going to fall behind. Looking at the supply now, it's around 155, 125, and the Little One being behind in that regard. So NonY, look at this, even taking the high yield on the right side, and so the Little One, he's going to fall behind. I think he's only got one more chance to keep himself in this game.
He's going to have to make something happen. He does have a lot of Vikings, but NonY's got a lot of Phoenixes. I think what the Little One wants to do is just avoid the Vikings. Just go straight for the Colossus with your Vikings. Even if you lose all of your Vikings to the Phoenix, at least you took out the threatening force, which is this Colossi on the ground. And then your Marauders are free to deal the remaining damage to the Stalkers, and then you're really, even though there's still going to be Phoenixes in play, you'll be fine, I think. Right now, the Little One thinking about destroying these rocks, but like you said, the minimap just showing how much more bases NonY has, and now he's pushing in to the natural expansion. Is there going to be a nice EMP? Yes, there is, right before the Ghost gets taken down right there. And the Little One here might lose his command center. He is going to stem up and push in the Vikings, focusing down. A lot of the Colossus going down right instantaneously, but the Phoenix is focusing down the Vikings, and I think this is going to be it for the Little One.
This is definitely going to be over. The Little One playing valiantly, but at the end of the day, he couldn't deal with these massed Phoenix. I think what it all came down to was that Marine attack. I think he was hoping that NonY wouldn't have as many Zealots as he did, because Zealots extremely good against the Marines if you can get the force fields off, which is exactly what we saw. So now NonY keeping himself in this series, as it is going to be 2-1, still in the Little One's favor though, as we're going to go on to game number 4.